الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
All of a sudden, after 9/11 and 20 years of occupation in Afghanistan, America gave it up to Taliban once again, after so much bloodshed in a very strange and of course unbelievably quick manner. What was the agenda behind such awful exit from Afghanistan? What were the American think tanks thinking of? Let's see. As we said before, the country got into the hands of Taliban. But wait, all of a sudden a brand new group showed its face out of nowhere. A group resided in Panjshir, led by a young man recently graduated in military science from an English college, Ahmed Massoud, the son of the famous Massoud. Strange, isn't it? And we know Taliban is after advocating the Islamic sharia, having birth for men and of course niqab and veil for women, all of which are integral characteristics of an Islamic state. But let's see what Massoud wants. He says he demands only freedom, but if we get into what he means by quoting of freedom, we would see it's exactly the secularism. But Massoud is not alone in this challenge. He is heavily supported militarily, financially, and of course politically by Tajikistan, which in a strange coincidence has banned beard, niqab and even hajj for the youth in the name of fighting political Islam and terrorism. The more strange news is that it's not Tajikistan alone that has done such ruthless actions against the very basics of Islam. China, Turkmenistan and other former Soviet bloc countries, and of course the leader behind all this agenda, Russia, the heartland of the new Eurasian world order, has already implemented such harsh rules. Strange, isn't it? Russian Eurasian think tank of Geopolitics, in cooperation with the Tajik political analysts, are after implementing a project named Greater Khorasan, which is after initiating an internal war by misusing racial, ethnic, language, and religious differences of sex in Afghanistan, and even Iran, which of course has the same characteristics of an Islamic state. Strange, huh? The Greater Khorasan project, supported ideologically and politically, and who knows, maybe even financially, by the American giant think tank of Atlantic Council, which has opted to bring down the Iranian Islamic State since years, and even has succeeded to bring on some uprisings in the past. One thing one shouldn't neglect here is Syria and the Islamist opposition of the Assad regime, with millions of Syrians resided in the northern parts of Syria, Idlib, an area which of course has the characteristics of an Islamic state. In Syria, Russia in cooperation with Iran has military presence and can wage war with Sunni Islamist civilians of Idlib with shells and barrel bombs anytime he dares to, creating chaos. By such actions, Shia and Sunni hatred rises up in Afghanistan, due to the fact that Assad and Iran there in Syria are Shia and the Muslims residing in Idlib are Sunni. In this manner, Shia and Sunni hatred rises up in Afghanistan and of course in between Taliban and Iran too, maybe, creating chaos in Iran in parallel with ethnic linguistic tribal war initiated by the Panjshir agenda in Afghanistan, which is closely cooperating with a man who has done a decent job in bringing up internal wars in many countries since launch, Bernard Levy, a man who has succeeded in initiating an internal war in countries like Libya, Syria, and as old as Yugoslavia. Amazing, isn't it? As a result of all this, the Greater Khorasan project can get achieved solely by the hands of Russia. It's a new world order conflict between the political Islam versus the secularism. Who would succeed? What do you think, bros and sis?